Your reflections, immediate reflections, Radmila, on a Donald Trump-shaped NATO summit, it's probably fair to say. How do you feel it has gone?
We have had an extremely successful summit, a summit that many people have called historical. But actually, I think the real value is if you go back like 6 months ago or 2 months ago and start thinking, what could be the decisions of 32 allied leaders. Very few people considered it feasible and possible that we could have such a strong agreement on crucial things. The threat from Russia, the importance of supporting Ukraine, and the strong commitment to defense spending to 5% GDP for defense and defense-related expenses. It's really a major a political change, a U-turn that will provide for a quantum leap in terms of developing the alliance and developing our deterrence and defense.
And do we have to credit Donald Trump? You mentioned the time frame of 2 months, 6 months. That 6 months takes us close to the time he became president.
Actually, the discussions about the need for higher defense spending have been there for quite some time, having in mind the long-term nature of Russia's threat. But it is true that the US President Donald Trump's strong views and strong call to European allies to really create this alliance into a fairer organization where burden sharing is not just a nice word, but it becomes a practice. It was extremely helpful and important for making this decision possible. But as I said, it is the threat that unites us and the knowledge that we have to do more and we have to do better. The calls to burden sharing, more equalized approach by Europeans and Americans have been there since President Eisenhower. But it is true that it was US President Donald Trump who sent this message very clear to allies, and it has worked, and it will be to the benefit of the alliance and all 32 members.
Is he the daddy? Then I suppose is the question you'll be sick of hearing. Is he the daddy of NATO, as Mark Rutte suggested?
It was a different discussion, I think, even on a slightly different topic. But the US has always shouldered a bigger responsibility for our deterrence and defense. And we have seen so many US presidents, so many US politicians calling us to be more engaged, to be more vested in our own deterrence and defense. So it's not new. It has been there as an issue for quite a number of presidents, leaders, but it is now that we are delivering, and that's the important message. The alliance will be stronger, also because it will be fairer.
And are you delivering? Because 5% is a lovely number, but it's 3.5% on defense and 1.5% on national security, which is a very elastic term. It includes things like road building and broadband in this country. 3.5% is an ambition of this country. We're not even at 2.5% yet. This is going to happen by 2034 if various reviews are met from 2029 onwards. It's very easy to confidently talk about a new commitment, but it hasn't been delivered. And many people in this country don't believe that it will be delivered. We're short on money. Other European countries are short on money. It's a nice round number, 5%. But we're a long, long way away from 5%. We're a long, long way away from 2034.
But let us keep the focus on key things. And I will mention several of them. First, the 5% and the 3.5% did not come out of thin air. I mean, they were a result of a process that lasted for quite some time. First, we decided on our defense and deterrence plans, fully agreed. Then our defense planners took these plans and they said, and these are the capabilities that you need to deliver on the plans. And then these capability targets were divided among allies, and each and every ally, each and every defense minister accepted those capability targets. And the assessment, even at that time, was that this requires for a defense investment north of 3.5%, so around 3.5%. And this was clear, and it is something that is, in a way, closely attached to what we need, what type of drones, what type of ammunition, what type of aircrafts, how much more do we need in the area of air and missile defense? 5 times more, what the Secretary General said. So on all of these issues, we have the practical numbers. But then allies were right in saying there are certain things that go beyond just the capability targets, and we need them for readiness and for resilience. Issues such as military mobility, you mentioned it, but military mobility connected to the plans and to the capabilities. And then we talk about resilience and we talk about industry production. It doesn't matter how much money we put in the budget if we cannot turn this money into concrete capabilities that are produced in a relatively short-term period of time. So it is connected. And of course, the question is, will we deliver? Is this just a plan? Is this just words? But it was very difficult to get to this commitment. And now it will be our job and allies' job to constantly deliver. And it's not as if we are just going to enjoy our time after the summit. The hard work also starts, the second part of the hard work starts now.
You mentioned unanimity. Spain don't seem that keen on it. Donald Trump has said that he might have to do a different trade deal with Spain because of how they've responded. It strikes me that you haven't got guarantees from everyone. Is Spain a weak member of NATO in your view?
Spain has been a valuable ally to NATO that has not only committed to the alliance, but also sends a number of troops with very important capabilities to a number of our missions and activities. So they're there at various theaters, and we have appreciated their contribution so far. And this is why we count on them being committed, because they have been very strong in saying that, yes, they fully agree on the capability targets, and Spain was also part of the consensus around the declaration today. So hard work is going to continue, but we have no doubts that these plans will transform and translate into better deterrence and better defense.
Radmila, it's a very busy day for you. We're very grateful to you for taking the time to talk to us. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Bye.